Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick, and today we have set number 75167, the Bounty Hunter Speeder Bike Battle Pack. This set was released in 2017 for a retail price of $14.99, standard, battle pack price as of, I think the change happened in the second wave of 2016. It might have been first 2017. But the set contains 122 pieces and 4 minifigures, as well as, this pretty decently sized speeder bike. As far as I'm aware, this speeder bike was a completely, made-up design from the LEGO group. It's not, doesn't appear in any Star Wars shows, movies, like comics, anything official or canon. It's just made up. But I think, it looks Star Warsy enough. It's got big engines. Feels like a speeder. Feels like it would, work like a speeder. It's got, the big engine at the back. There is a little, backpack piece here, which reminds me of, like the Scout Trooper bikes. They've got storage on the back. It's got these guns on the sides, which I like how they, create the appearance with the telescopes on this handlebar piece, and then you've also got the stud shooter here, so you can actually fire off your your weapons with this thing. These pieces on the side, do add in more splashes of medium azure, or I think it's dark azure actually, which do a good job of making this thing just look interesting. It's got a very interesting color scheme for something Star Wars. And, I think that that's cool. It adds a little bit of splash of color to your Star Wars collection. These slider plates in this color are actually very rare, as well as these pieces up front. Both of them appeared in this set plus one other. This appeared in a random brick box, one of the 6 years variants. And then this piece appeared in a Nexo Knight set. But they're both relatively uncommon, so it's cool to get them both here. And I think that, this thing has an interesting enough design. The figure is just sat in there. There's no control panel or anything, or a lever. I would have liked to see maybe, one of these pieces, which you do get an extra of, just put on there as like a control stick. I think that, it's not perfect, but I think that that would just add a little bit more, believability to it. But, that's a minor complaint, and as I said, you do get an extra one of those, so you can put it on yourself. There's also a tiny windscreen, which doesn't do too much for me, but I think overall, this doesn't look bad. It's not a super displayable thing. I wouldn't say go out and buy this, just so you have a bunch of these cool speeders, but I think that for a side build, it's, pretty good. Only complaint is that, well, only significant complaint is I would have liked to see, maybe a way to attach another figure onto the back, but you can just remove another piece, and that allows you to do just that. I think it is a little weird though to have a main official build in a set with 4 figures that are, they're all on the same side. They're kind of working together here, you can assume. But only one of them can fit on the bike, so the rest of them have to just walk everywhere. As far as figures go, we get 4, and they're all bounty hunters. 3 of the figures are exclusive to this set. IG-88 is, Dengar is not. So, he appears in one of the Freemaker Adventure sets, but I feel like a lot of people, would be relatively likely to pass on that one and still want a Dengar. So, I think it's nice that there is another option for those people. They all get stud shooters, which, work like stud shooters. I already demonstrated one on the speeder, but you just push down on the trigger, and the studs go firing off. The IG-88 is, basically a standard droid assembly, except he has this interesting head with a printed cylinder piece. That cylinder is exclusive to this set, and the only exclusive part on IG-88, but I think that they did a pretty good job with it. Would have been nice if it printed a little bit further around, I think, but, it's still a very cool design. And you'll also notice he does have a regular blaster on his back, which is an uncommon thing for battle packs nowadays, which is kind of a shame. But I like that, it does give it give the character the look. It is a little bit far off his back. You probably could take that stud off and just attach the clip directly, and it would be a little bit closer, but I'm not sure exactly why they moved it further back. It could be an accuracy thing. Dengar has this little backpack, which is simple and brick built. He has the clumsy guy from Series 16. His bandage piece. His face print is pretty good, and they get the flesh tone right because they're printing on white, and there is no alternate design for that face, but there's a neck bracket that he has on in order to hold his backpack. Torso print is good. His legs have no printing at all. They're just plain dark brown, but if you do look at the back of his torso, it does have some pretty decent printing. I actually think I might like this better than the front. It's kind of a shame that it's mostly covered up by this backpack all the time, but I think that they're both really good figures, and I think that they'll be relatively collectible. But I think that these two are going to be a lot more so. Bosk has appeared in sets before, but this is a brand new exclusive variant of him with completely different color plastics for, I think, every part of him. The torso and legs are actually not, your standard Lego yellow. They are kind of a lighter color. Just quick comparison so you can see that. Luigi is the closest yellow thing I have. So, yellow versus the light yellow, which is used in a lot of friend sets. So, that's kind of where the color is most frequently found. And I think that they did a great job with him. Oh, also, the head is now an olive green instead of sand green. It has some great printing. It's the same mold as before, but it looks really good. I like it a lot. The torso and leg prints you can see are very, very, very well done. And just all around a good-looking figure with some good back print as well. He does come with stud shooters. This is Forlom, though. And Forlom, I think, has the distinction of being the best figure in the set. We've kind of been going worst to best because Forlom is completely 100% exclusive to this set as a character. And he's one of the 5 bounty hunters in this scene from Empire Strikes Back, with Darth Vader and Boba Fett. And there's, the 5 other background bounty hunters. This set has 4 of those 5. Zuckuss is still missing and has never been made in LEGO before. But, this was Forlom's first appearance, and I think they did a great job. He's molded in completely gunmetal gray. He's got kind of a protocol droid-looking torso, and, that looks good from front and back. The leg print, it is pretty good. And then he has a really nice head mold. I think the mold is exclusive to this set, but it may have appeared on another protocol droid. There's one that I remember looking vaguely similar to this. I don't know how similar, but it's got some good printing for the eyes. It's molded in gunmetal gray. I think there's gunmetal gray printing and copper printing on here, so you've got the gunmetal gray on gunmetal gray, but it could just be a surface finish thing that makes this color look just a tiny bit different than most of the part, but it looks really, really good. I like it a lot. It's a very nicely designed figure, and I think that having these guys is a pretty cool thing for original trilogy Star Wars collectors, and I like that they both appear in a relatively cheap set. Overall, I think that this set has some fantastic minifigures, and for $15, that's cheaper than collectible minifigures, and you get the kind of neat little side speeder build. So I think that if you like the figures, this is definitely a good value for what you get. People are going to complain that battle packs used to be $12, now they're $15, and they're not going to like that price jump. But I think in certain cases it's definitely still worth it. In most of them, actually, I think it's still a good price. I think $12 was very, very good, and I think that worked better for army building sets. But this isn't really an army building set. And I appreciate that because it's a cool collection of, nice exclusive figures and, relatively cheap price point. I think that, that is a good thing because that's what I'm looking for. However, for army builders, you're not going to find too much here. I think it's still worth getting one, but obviously you don't really need more than one of each of these characters. Unless you want to get, the more updated versions as they come out. But, like, of the most updated versions, there's not really use for a ton of these. Maybe you could get multiple IG-88s, but, building up an army of Bosks or Dengar, I think those two in particular, are kind of less useful to get multiple of. But, for what it is as a standalone set, I think it's good. I think the biggest complaint comes from it being marketed as a battle pack. But, if you don't want more than one, then don't buy more than one. It's as simple as that. I would still wholeheartedly recommend this set to Star Wars collectors because, they are fantastic figures, and the build isn't bad. It's a little bit, off to the side and kind of forgettable. But I definitely think that there is value there at $14. If you find it on clearance, like I did. Oops, you can't see the sticker. If you found it on clearance for $9 like I did, 100% recommendation. Again, I don't know if you can buy more than one, but 100% would buy one at $9 or anything less than $14. The 4-LOM figure is also going to be very collectible, I think. And the last minor complaint, I wish they would have swapped Dengar for Zuckuss, because, then we'd have a brand new, two brand new characters. They'd all be brand new figures. It would be, a really, 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 really good set. But, again, no complaints at standard retail price. This is a good battle pack.